Hey guys, what is going on? This is Ip of RageQuitTV, gonna be casting a game between TSL.Symbol and x6.Ver. It is a TVZ on Antiga shipyards. They are spawning in cross positions, which is the most balanced of spawning positions. If you spawn like right here as a Terran player, then you can easily take down these rocks and just do kind of a slow push into their natural, contain them at 2 bases. If you spawn over here, you can kind of do the little tank jumping up and medevac action, acting like octopus arms, while you slowly go in and contain this area. And if you spawn complete cross positions, most likely you'll just contain this area, which means you heard me say contain a lot. It's very easy for a Terran player to keep a Zerg player contained on just 3 bases, which means chances are we're going to see the Zerg make the first move. Of course, Terran, they can move out at 10 or 11 minutes marks just saying, hey, build something other than drones. But after that, the Zerg is really the one that has to put pressure on. You cannot play this map passively as Zerg because your siege units, the Broodlords, come out just so late. Terran take this middle with tanks and then slowly push in, and you're contained to 3 bases, and that's not good. To go up on Broodlord tech efficiently, you really need to be going up to like 7 or 8 gas. If you're not at that much gas, chances are you're not going to have that many Broodlords. We do see the drone scout. Looks like he is coming out. The Overlord is going to be seeing him eventually. Of course, Symbol knows exactly where Ver is, but he still just really wants to know exactly what he is doing. And this drone looks like it is time to get to the base around possibly like 230, 240, which is a big deal. This scout looks like it is timed perfectly to get to the base just before 245. If you get to the base at 245, see this barracks finishing, then you know the barracks did come up before the gas. So even if this did get blocked off, Symbol could tell, okay, you went for a Rax before that gas, which means the Hellions are most likely going to be at a normal time. Additionally, he does get into the base, sees no gas at all, which tells him, okay, it's going to be a 1 barracks expand. Symbol, I don't like that he didn't go to the middle line to get a count on SCVs, because there could be like a barracks hiding off right in here, landing down here, and then a 2X could be incoming, and Symbol not scouting for that. If he got into the middle line, he could have saw, okay, there are 14 SCVs while you're getting your orbital command. That is normal because one is off building. But Symbol missing out on that. It could be a 2X. He does not know for sure. But did he end up seeing this command center? No, he didn't. Ver is going to be doing the 1X command. Of course, that is the most common. But again, on these GSL maps where you only have 2 spawning positions, the 2X does come up quite a bit. And Symbol is going to be getting his 2 queens right now. And Ver is going to go up on a very fast double gas. And this could be Banshee play. This could also be a 1 Rax fast expand into a relatively quick tanks. We'll see exactly what Ver does. Also, it could be Blue Flame Hellion drop. Those are the 3 things I think of when I see these 2 gases going up that early. And this one, Overlord sees this 1 gas. He doesn't have anything over on this side to see the other gas, so he won't know until this Overlord does manage to make his way over there, which it almost never will. I think he's going to be parking and just using this Overlord to keep an eye on the 3rd base. And this could be good. If this was against Protoss, I would say this is a huge mistake because you have to see this 3rd and 4th gas timings. But against Terran, they generally won't take the 3rd and 4th gas, even if they go for something crazy like Cloaked Banshees. See the factory coming down next to this reactor, which leads me to think a Banshee will be on the way because, well, he's going to be using a lot of minerals. And what can you do with a lot of minerals? Well, you can get a starport, get Banshee, also going for this command center, so I have no idea what he's going to be doing. Maybe going to be playing this game a little bit risky and go for a triple expand or a double expand into Banshees. Symbol is doing the normal Zerg thing at having 4 queens out, so the Banshee's not going to really catch him too off guard. But a lot of Zergs do love taking this 3rd base relatively fast, which slows down their lair. So if Symbol ends up going, Ver ends up going for Cloaked Banshees, he may actually be able to do quite a bit of damage because the detection nowhere near for Symbol. This extractor not even done, and he's only getting 2 extractors. So it's going to take him a while to get up on that 100 gas to go for any type of lair tech. Additionally, getting this Roach one, which leads me to think he's going to be putting on pressure. There we go. The 3rd gas is being built. A Ling is right here waiting for the barracks to, or the command center to fly on over. And Ver does have his Marine on patrol right here. The starport is being built right here. I don't really like this positioning just in case there is a Overlord in this one area, he could see this. The starport positioning I'd place it in, I'd place it like down here. Because no Overlord is going to be coming in this way. That would just be suicidal for the Overlord. Of course, you have the Hellions trying to keep this creep at bay, but they did come a little bit later than normal, so the creep does manage to get down there. Of course, there are also extra queens, but placing the starport right here, I think it may be a little bit harder to scout. You know the Overlord is right here. There's no way he can make it from here down here before you killing it. Additionally, this will save a few seconds of flight time. It's relatively minor, but every second does count, so don't really like his starport positioning. I think it's just easier scouted, especially if there was an Overlord here checking this second gas timing. And we just have a Banshee coming out. It doesn't look like it is cloaked. If it was cloaked, he'd be using this gas, still up to 400 gas. And I'm really curious what Terran is going to be using with this gas. I don't think he needed to get this second reactor so quickly. Hellions do see the roaches and do just back off. The lair is about halfway done. And another Banshee is coming out, so it looks like it will be 2 Banshees. Hellions have this watchtower. Notice Symbol. This is like from his Brood War days, having such a magnificent Overlord spread just all around the map. We can go over to his vision. You can see there's no way a drop is going to be getting anywhere near him. And now he will be seeing this one Banshee. Has 2 Spore Crawlers on the way, just perfectly. And the Banshee's not going to really do any damage. Even if it had Cloak, the Spore Crawlers came up relatively quickly. I guess it could come in now and do some damage. But, of course, Ver didn't get Cloaked. And he should have a second Banshee on the way now. There we go. The Banshee is coming. 2 Banshees, of course, better than 1. But with Symbol's 4 or 5 queens, 4 queens, these 2 Banshees are going to have a very hard time doing any damage whatsoever, especially with Spore Crawlers up in the natural main and third. I guess the Banshees could be annoying and try to pick off the gas, which is relatively good. But I think Ver is just going to keep them idle. Still has not shown his third command center. Just getting that SCV count relatively high. 60 SCVs, 275 drones. We do have pathogen glands on the way for Symbol. And that pathogen glands will allow him to kind of take a little bit of map control. Much more than Mutas, odd as it says. A lot of Terran players just... I don't know. Infestors are just better for map control on Antiga Shipyard. Because, well, your bases are relatively close by both land and air. And this one Banshee is just getting as many kills at once. And what I mean by that is if the Zerg ends up taking this base, and he keeps his army right here, there's nothing really to allow Terran to easily take out this one base. So this is probably going to be where Symbol expands next. He could also expand at the gold base, but until you get Broodlords out, expanding at the gold base is dangerous because even with Infestors, you can't really stop the tanks on the high ground. So I really expect Symbol to be taking out these rocks and just expanding here because this is the next easiest base to defend. We do have Ver on his command center, finally going to be going to the third base. Looking at his SCVs, he has 67, so he's ideally saturated pretty much at both his natural and... Oh man, that is actually oversaturated. I think 48 would be ideally. So as soon as this does land, he's going to have full saturation at his third base. As we do see all these SCVs moving on over, going to be building the 4 supply depots right here. The bunker just getting a SimCity, make it very hard for Zerg to come in and do any damage. If he just goes on an A move, the roaches and lynx may attack the supply depots, allowing Ver to get a lot more damage. Also, if the lynx clump up between these supply depots, Hellions will just toast them. And you can really see the Overlord spread right now from Symbol. Hitting V and going into his vision. It is almost like going into the vision of Ver minus the base. Symbol just has such a great Overlord spread. There's no way any medevacs are going to be able to get to him, and he is going to be taking this one base way down here as his roaches and lings do move up. And he now sees this SimCity. We'll see how good the SimCity is. Lings are going to be running into the main on third base. Never mind, they do turn around. These Infestors are going to get huge bone growth off on these Marines. And Symbol is not going to be able to kill Ver right here. It looks like Ver will just barely defend. But what this allows Symbol to do is just drone up his fourth base. And he's even going to take out this tank, it looks like, and maybe he'll actually get some economic damage done. Does he have any lings into these mineral lines? No, he doesn't. is going to get cleaned up with these medevacs, but going into the army supply, you can see, well, it is even supply, but going into the units, only one tank out for Ver. He does not want to move out when he only has one tank. He wants to move out when he has like 5 or 6 tanks, and he can start leapfrogging him. So right now, we have Symbol going to be taking more creep around the map, and may even take another base, because he knows that Ver cannot move out at this time. He does have a macro hatch on the way, or actually already up. Getting that adrenal gland, so he is already at Hive, going for Ultralisks. He is at 2-1 upgrades, going for that +2 armor, just about done. While Ver, he is at 1-1, but he is going for 2-2, so the upgrades are relatively even. Drop is on the way here, and I don't think Symbol saw this. And this one Moon Marine is going to get picked off. Ver sees the hatch down here, so he's going to let loose on this high ground, stim, and go down and take out this expansion. And a Viking just patrolling the map, killing off all the Overlords on this high ground area. 2 Overlord kills for that Viking. These Marines that are going to force a cancel on this hatch. Will Symbol actually cancel it? No, he will not. Good pickup by Ver. Big mistake by Symbol. And we have a sensor tower up for Ver, just watching his third base. Sees another Overlord right here. This Viking will be going to it. And now all the Overlords have been taken out on this right side of the map. Ver will be doing a job. And this one Viking not going straight for this Overlord. A little bit odd. And Ver wants to take out that base at the bottom left. This Overlord is going to go down. It's 200 supply for Ver. 169 for Symbol. And those Marines are clumped up in the back. Gets a big phone girth off on everything. All that bio taken out. And there's not that many tanks. And Ver may need more factories. It looks like he may only have 2 factories or 1. There's only 1 tank in production. He needs to get more tanks out to be effective against Ling and Fester. And once he gets those Ultralisks, I am worried for Ver. Those Ultras would just be so good. Ling's coming out. That phone girth proving to be relatively effective. The adrenal gland's definitely paying for itself right here. But at the same time, we do have a drop over into the main by Ver, taking out the Queen and going into the drone kill count. 20 drones have been killed. And this Hive is in danger. Ling's just going out, rallying away from this. Ultra's going to be pulling back in. And looks like this one drop did get dealt with. And these Lings realizing there is no escape. This whole force is going to get caught out of siege. Tank is going down. Medevac does pick up what it can. There's no anti-air for Symbol right here. So those medevacs are safe to pick up. 171 supply to 113 with Ver in the lead. Ver has a huge lead in supply. Still, this one drop is doing a little bit of damage. Going into the workers, it is 59 drones, 281 SCVs. Ver looking like he has this game, has Symbol on the back foot. Despite Symbol being on more bases, he doesn't really have more mining due to all the drones killed. And this main base not mining any gas due to the Marine drop. Ver is just in a good spot. But he is going for mainly infantry, and this could be his mistake. Doesn't really have that many tanks. Let's go count his factories. He has 1 over here, 1 in his main. And that's about it. Building 1 tank at a time even. Those factories right now are idle. He is just going pretty much with pure bio. And with infestors and ultralisks, I don't think this pure bio is going to be able to hold up. Ver definitely has him out. Macro going to be getting ghost now, but this fungal growth is going to be the bane of his existence. Has a lot of medevacs right now, and that will help. This one drop is getting cleaned up. Another drop is on the way by Ver. Going to be going into the third base. While these ultras are going to try to take out this, but there is a PF there. Relatively big fungal growth on that small clump of units. Ultras are going to go start targeting this PF. The SCVs are on repair, but huge fungal growths go down on everything. Now the drop is going to be going in to the third base. And at the same time, there is a dropship here with no units in it. This PF does get taken out, and this drop is going to stop mining, but there is a spine crawler right here that is going to be taken out. Symbol has to come back and deal with this spine, and Ver only mining off of 1 base right now, while we do have Symbol mining off of 3 bases, 4 if this base ever mines. So Symbol right now has the better overall, and there's no drones at this base. I thought I just saw some. Maybe not. And Command center does land. Lings do see that. And Ver has to make something happen. He does land a command center up here and over here. This one is immediately going to get dealt with. Baneling hit, the medevac does pick up. Scan does go down here, clearing that creep, but that is just mainly Marines. And Ultralisks and Infestors kind of do well against Marines. Ver really needs to get mining. Going to this base, nothing really mining there. His third base a little bit oversaturated. How many SCVs does this kid have? 75. I don't know where all his SCVs are. Maybe long distance mining. Big phone growth right now on that horde of Marines. More coming in, but Symbol is going to be cutting back. He has a lot of Banelings back here. And there's no real tanks. Only one tank out. What is that tank's upgrades? 1-0. Symbol looking like he may be in the lead while behind in supply. This is only something Stefano can do. But Ver, not having the superior army, is getting a little bit manhandled, but he does have the macro advantage, or maybe he had the macro advantage, as Symbol is now going to be catching up, has so many more bases mining. Let's go to this income. You can see Symbol storming ahead on that income. If 10 player can land this command center, it will even up. And a nuke is going down on this base. Will Symbol react to that? Huge phone growth going down. A lot of medevacs still in the air, but they will be getting picked off, and that nuke, all the drones do get pulled away. And those medevacs have to be careful. One more phone growth could kill a lot of them. And Symbol has now taken the supply lead. This one ghost is doing the moonwalk. That was a little bit odd. Scan does go down, sees this army. Marines are going to start tugging down this Ultra. Some cute micro by Ver, but he may have actually hurt himself there. This tank in siege mode. Phone growth going to be going down on these Marines, but Ver slowly not having anything, while Ultras just devastate this one base. And now these medevacs, there's no escaping. They are going to get fungal to death. And now there's going to be no medevacs healing these bioforces from getting fungal growth. And what bioforce actually remains, it is very slim pickings. Ver is going to need some hero nukes. And he's not really mining. Again, just off this one base, while we have base over here, base here. This base still has some minerals, while Ver's natural has none. This third base has plenty, while Ver's, well, let's go to this. 570, 3 something, 2 something. So the third bases are about even. But Ver just doesn't have much. He's got to keep this base alive. If this base goes down, that could be the killing blow. Overseer is being morphed, so you can see any cloaked ghost does not want to get EMP'd. Lots of Banelings morphing, and with the low tank count from Ver, these Banelings are still gonna be an issue. Drop coming down here. It looks like he is gonna be putting on some pressure, but there's enough Lings here, I think, to kill these Marines. 2-2 versus 3-3 with adrenal glands. Those Lings are gonna be just not enough. Meanwhile, we have an engagement about to happen into this main. And you can see Symbol trying desperately not to explode those Banelings on one Marine, but does anyways. And now he is going to be storming on down here. Fungal growths go down on all what is remaining. 141 supply, 278. Symbol right here showing us that Zergs, they kind of can win just on composition. Ver was so far ahead in supply, but playing this bio-heavy just isn't good. Also has 2 changelings right here. Can see the army, see the tank count, and that is huge. And it looks like at the same time, Banelings did go into this third base, or fourth base, and take out the SCVs, as that middle line is now bare. 10 Ultras on the way, and with these 10 Ultras, that could seal the game. These Marines will be enough to take out these these regular Lings, but more Lings coming in, and looks like Symbol knows pretty much the magic number of Lings to deal with one dropship full of Marines, and those Marines are instantly going to go back. Mining still happening at this one base. This base, barely any. He does land a base up here, gets a PF up. But Symbol just has so much right now. Ghost is coming in. He is cloaked, trying to dodge this one Overseer. Overseer does see him, and now he's got to dodge a Spore Crawler. And I don't think Symbol's really paying too much attention. And Symbol's moving his army around. Drone transfer is coming in. And looks like it is going to this base. Will Symbol see it? Yes, he does. Spore Crawler is going to be moved. Try to find this one. Goes and uh-oh. Drone transfer. Drone BBQ nuclear missile style. Same time a drop is going down at this base. Ver trying desperately to shut down Symbol's income. But Symbol banking 2.3k and 1.7k. Has so much stored up. Even if he's not mining for a little bit, can pretty much still max out. So many ultras coming in. Those tanks at 1-0, Marines at 3-2. Changelings are out, and these ultras are going to surround Big Phone Growth, and a little bit of hesitation with these ultras. And EMP is going down on those infestors, but the ultra count is just too darn high. GG by Ver. And I really think this game kind of was to that army composition. You really need more than 2 or 3 tanks to move out. Like 5 or 6, it's a good number. I think 8 is a magical number of tanks to move out safely. You can do it with 6. 5 is cutting it because you'll be moving out 2 tanks at a time instead of the normal 3, because you want to keep 3 tanks sieged up to be able to kill Lings very easily. If you have 2 tanks sieged up, it's not as good as 3. I think 3 I have much better success with in case, because 2 tank shots pretty much kill a Ling because of upgrades, and if you have the tank shoot different Lings, then they get near your tanks. If you have 3, chances are you will start taking out hordes of Lings better. If you have 8, then you always have 5 sieged up when you move out 3, and it's just so easy to leapfrog with 8 tanks against when you're worrying about Lings. But Ver, he did it with like 2 or 3. And that just was not enough. We'll watch where he got caught. It was right here where he kind of gets caught. You can see because he doesn't really have a high tank count, has 4. So he doesn't even worry about leapfrogging right here. He's like, I only got 4 tanks. Leapfrogging 1 tank at a time is not going to be worth it. So I'm just going to be moving out very quickly, very hastily. Get spotted, and right here, just gets demolished. Symbol has too good a map awareness with the Overlord spread. In Ver's defense, while that was going down, he had a drop up here, had a Viking over here, had a drop over here. So he was trying to make Symbol go in too many places at once while being very risky with his main force. But it just got decimated. Now there's only 2 tanks out. Not really enough to do anything. This drop does get cleaned up very easily with just a handful of drones. Loses a queen. Dropping the main. This was going on for a while. This base, the phone girth goes down. And without a lot of tanks, they're not even in siege mode. And I think this is really where Ver ends up losing the game. He's still ahead in supply. Nice pickup saving that 1 tank. But with only these 2 factories, and they're not constantly being productive. After these 2 tanks, they're gonna sit idle. So no tanks here. 1 tank here. We'll just watch this for a little bit. 1 tank. This 1 factory is idle. Now both factories are idle. Let's pause the game again. Go to the barracks. So with his barracks, he does a decent job. A lot of these are reactors and only building 1 Marine. But at least generally his barracks are active. It's better than having it idle, and it's better than being supply capped. I don't think Ver or Symbol really supply black themselves at all this game. But you can really see just... there's always a barracks active. But it's not really majority. And the factories aren't active as well. So, I don't know how this is happening. I guess his minerals are just too low to keep everything active, and his gas is starting to get high. So, let's go here. Orbital Command, Energy. So he's got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5. Mule's 50, right? Yeah. 5. I'll say 8. He's got 8 mules that he could be mining with. And he needs minerals. So Ver slacking on his mule mechanics, which means his barracks cannot stay active. And if his barracks can't stay active because they don't have minerals, then your factories, they aren't going to be active as well. So Ver, it looks like he does a great job at producing stuff, but he doesn't have the money to back it up, at least in this game. So something definitely did throw him off. Hasn't really lost any SCVs yet, so let's go into SC2 gears. Bring this on over. Let's go to main building control, the 10-minute mark, the magic mark, all Zergs love. 16. I really don't like this. This huge gap, like, something happened at this point. This is probably the Banshee that just Symbol was like, okay, there's aggression, let's just stop all inject. So let's go to about 8:30 in the game, and we'll see what Symbol is actually doing, because he decides defending is better than injecting, which I don't believe is ever the case. I mean, let's see. He's gonna miss an inject somewhere. I guess the flaw with my logic is if you lose the game, yeah, defending was more important. But we notice this a lot with like Protoss players, and Zergs just skimp on the Spore Crawlers, and by skipping on that, it means all your queens, the ones that are meant to inject, have to be pulled off to deal with it. So, let's see. Does he really pull off his queens, or does he kind of just forget all about inject? Let's go to his hotkeys. So he's got them on separate hotkeys, so we can go quickly through these, see these injects are about to expire, and relatively quickly inject. So he's got to hit 5-5 click queen, 6-6 click queen, 7-7 click queen. Well, how I've been doing it lately is I've been having all my queens on 4 and doing 5-6-7 so I can cycle through this. 5-5 4V, 6-6 4V, 7-7 4V. That's how I like to do my injects. I haven't really seen anyone but Demaga do it that way, but it's kind of like the best with both worlds, because once this early game goes away, then you have all your hatches on one hotkey, and then you can go and do the backspace larva inject method. So you kind of can transition into both very easily. It's the best of both worlds when you play with mutas and you don't have time to do the slow method with hitting 5-5, 6-6, 7-7. You can quickly do the backspace method. When you're in this early game and every inject counts, you can keep an eye on them all and at the same time do the backspace when it matters. So hopefully that kind of makes sense. But right here, inject there, no inject, none here, so this one queen does get pulled. And I'm just setting up camera angles. So no inject, back here. Dealing with this, still no injects. Not going back to inject during battle. Still no injects. So he didn't even pull those queens off. This is definitely a big blunder by Symbol. And now he injects once the pressure goes away. But I can understand the third base. This base I can understand. But these two bases, if there are queens at the hatches, there's no excuse not to inject. If this ever happens, you're basically saying, I'm not fast enough to do these injects and watch my army at the same time. Because I'm just going to run through the injects really quick. I mean, it doesn't take long. So, yeah, that's all it takes to inject. That 2 seconds. So, Symbol making a small blunder there. Not huge. Not huge at all. But, just goes to show no one is perfect, not even the Korean masters. Oh, let's see. Unit tiers. So Ver looks good overall. His macro looks good. But let's go into 15 granularity. Okay, let me go back here. I'm going to show you Tasia. because Tasia is like my favorite macro Zerg. Let's see. Tasia's my favorite macro tan. Actually, the only one I like more than Tasia is Marine King, but I don't have any replays of him. Hopefully, IPL or MLG will release replays soon, and I'll have them. That would be awesome. But where is Tasia? Here he is, and we're going to load up the replays. So going back in SC2 gears, we can look at... Let's go for a Zerg. That game was 29 minutes. Let's go ZVT, that is 30 minutes long. This should be good. So at this 15 granularity, what we're going to be looking at... Can we zoom in? I'm sure we can, but... Let's take our Zerg players off the equation. And this is kind of how you can do a good job yourself. So let's take a moment in the game, like 15-minute mark. That's when you should be going on your third base. So 10 Marines, 6 Marines, 13 Marines at 15 minutes. Go to a Korean guy, 15 minutes. Why don't you tell me? Okay, 9, 9, 7. Then over here you have like 6, 7, 4, 7 at 18. Two, 6, 2, 4, a few Marauders. 12 right here. That's pretty high. But his overall production is around 26. As you see it right here. If you get 26, if you don't see like a lot of 12s or 13s, then chances are something is wrong. So he can produce 26. Let's go. Let's see. Let's just verify that. 17 minutes into the game. 18 minutes? 2, 4, 6, 8. No. 8. 10, 12. 14. So it looks like every bar, if that makes sense, he can produce 28 Marines. Because I think this is like 2 production cycles, and this, I don't know enough about SE2 gears, but I'm assuming this is 2 production cycles. So this is good. But all these 2s, it's not so good. Go to Tasia. Does he ever really have 2s? Not really. He has one down here. But it's more up 8, 10, 13. Never really has a 26. So if we go into that 26, what follows it? So, 16 minutes. Let's go back in this. And this is the last thing I'll talk about on this. I'm trying to learn this tool as I teach you guys, so never perfect. Whenever I see something interesting, I go check it out. So we said that was around 18 minutes, I think. Let's double check. 17:22. So it's coming up in this game. So we'll see exactly what is happening. Again, we're just keeping an eye on that production tab. I'll even highlight the barracks to make it easy. There we go. But right here, I just noticed this. It's about to happen. And look at his minerals. He has 2.2k minerals. His barracks, not producing anything. So he's got 8 going right now, 14. Staying at 14, you can see this 26 is because he queued up on everything. And those barracks will just have constant production because he had the money to do that. So, hopefully this kind of makes sense to you guys. So you can see that 26, not really so good. If you had good macro, you wouldn't see these huge spikes. That's all I'm getting at. You wouldn't see these spikes if you had good macro. And not having these gaps, really nice. It means if we go to this APM, I'd guess Ver to do this, he probably has around 70 macro APM at minimum. Be my guess. 43, so way off. Rough guess. 77. You can see APMs, not too much. Hopefully you enjoyed this game, and hopefully you were fine with me trying to learn SE2 gears while you learn it. There's no real videos on SE2 gears, so I think this is the best way to learn it, and, well, I guess this is the only way for you to learn it, other than trying to figure it out yourself, which we all know you don't like doing for some reason. But anyways, take care, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.